This is Carl at National RV Detroit, and I'm going to walk you through this 2021 Flagstaff Super Lite fifth wheel, model number 529RLKS. Alright, rear living with a kitchen slide. I would think that those letters stand for. Okay, so let's look on the outside here. Okay, so you have a power landing gear plus power rear stabilizers. So this one switch controls both of the rear stabilizers. So here you go. You can see it goes up and down like so. Okay. Let me continue to look underneath here and see what we've got. So these slide outs, these rear slide outs anyway, they can be cranked in and out manually. I'm trying to figure out a good way to look at this here, but you can see, maybe you can see, there's a crank right there, maybe, or not a crank, I'm sorry, a shaft with a pin through it. And if you look straight through this hole, you'll be able to see the shaft with a pin through it. Well, you can put a crank on there, and you can crank, this side would crank the opposite slide room, right? And let's look and see what we got over here. We probably have one for the door side too. Yep, sure enough. So this one is for the door side. So if we look in here, we'll be maybe we can get a better view of it. Yeah, right up there, if you can see that. Okay. So the second one here on the off door side, there's probably another. Yep, there it is right there. So you can crank that one through here. Okay. So I'm not. Oh yeah. So that would be this top crank right here. You can see it has a cylinder with a slot cut in it. It'll fit right through that over that shaft with a pin through it. And of course the bottom one is a 3/4 inch for cranking 3/4 inch hexes. Okay. So you can put a TV out here. You got a mount plus signal plus power. There's your outside speakers there. You have a power awning. Okay. Now you can hang the awning right on this rail right here. And under here, right there, as a matter of fact, that's the quick connect for the LP. So you can plug right into that. You get a hose with it, and of course the 3/4 inch will work, crank I told you about will work on your tire right there too. Okay. All right. So you have two 30-pound LP tanks. This is your pass through. This is just your TV box here. You can just toss that if you choose. You have a battery, a 27 series battery. This is the kill switch for it right here. Okay. Your landing gear control right here, and your docking lights right here. And that's in case you get a solar battery charger. If you got a solar battery charger, you would plug it right in there, and it'll send a current right to your battery, DC current. There's your other 30-pounder. So this bag is just for your cord. This is underneath it. You got your dump hose. Now this is a canister for a filter. So this does come with a filter and a wrench. If you choose to put a water filter in there, you can put it in there. It's a carbon block filter, so it takes the any kind of chlorine type taste out. It'll take some of the mineral taste out of it. So it's not as good as reverse osmosis, but it's still a really good filter. Okay. If you do use that, you got to change it every season. So after you winterize in the fall, you throw that filter out, and after you de-winterize in the spring, you put a new one in. Okay, so this is your sprayer here, and it fits right on here, of course. All right, so let me see here. So now this is your city water hook up here. So this is the most common way to get water to the trailer. You just hook the hose up. You make sure you're in city water position. So you look at this drawing right here. This goes like this. And so right there in that configuration, it will be city water. So you put the hose on there and turn it on, you're all set, ready to go. Now if you want to fill your fresh water tank from here, you can use this position here. It would be this one here. And and that'll fill your fresh water tank. Okay. Let's see here. I'm trying to get. Okay, and so to dry camp, I can't read it that well. To dry camp, you would go with this configuration here. Once you've got water in your tank, you turn on the pump by getting this configuration right here. Okay, but we're going to leave it at. We'll leave it right here because I think there's water in the tank. So if you wanted to test it, you could do that. Okay, yeah. So you heard the. I don't know if you could hear that enough, but the motor at the pressure built up, but sort of slow down till it turns off. So the only time the pump will turn on now is if you turn on the faucet and the pressure drops, then it'll start pumping. You close it, the pressure builds up and stops. Okay. Now this is for your water heater, or I mean for your water pump. This right here is a flush, a Santa flush for your black tank. So let's look around here. So you got two gray tanks. You got one there. You got one there. There's your valve, gray valves, and the black valve for the black tank right there. So you dump the black first because that's toilet water and waste, and then you use the gray one to wash out the hose. Okay, gray's dirty water, sink and shower water is just not as dirty as the black water. Okay. After that, you leave the black tank valve open. You can hook your hose right onto here. Turn the water on, it'll spray out the inside of your black tank. Clean off the sensors really well, that sort of thing. So it's a really good thing to use. All right, so your water heater is here. The thing to remember is there's a switch here, right? This switch here, this on and off rocker switch, controls the electric heating element that's behind this cover here. All right, you just want to know that that's there. There's switches inside the trailer too, but keep in mind that there's always this electrical switch here for the heating element. You never run the heating element, electric heating element, for example, or the gas for that matter, but you never run it without water in the tank. You always want to make sure there's water in the tank. This is where it drains right here. It's inch and a 16th socket and 6 points. So you need that plus like a 6-inch extension so you can get your ratchet on it. But that's where you would drain it from right there. Okay. All right. You got a 50 amp cord, 30 feet long, as you can see. Right now we've got it reduced down to a 30 amp system, and then you get another small one to reduce it down even more, so you can plug it in at home. So you got it, but this is a 50 amp system. Okay. This is a second place to fill your fresh water tank. If you wanted to fill it this way, just by putting a hose on there, you can do it that way also. Also, the drain for it, I don't know if you can see it, there it is right there. That's the drain for your fresh water tank. Okay. So, this is pre-wired for a backup camera, so you can see the housing there for a backup camera. You have a ladder, which is a great thing to have because you need to inspect the roof on your trailer according to the manufacturer every 90 days. So every 90 days someone needs to go up there and take a look around, check out the sealant and the lap sealant, make sure there's no cracking or separation. Check the vents and the roofing material, make sure no low branches damaged it, that sort of thing. Just give it a good inspection. Okay, so let's go inside. I think I'll have to pick up the pace here because I've only got just under a half hour with this thing before a new file starts. All right, so your stairs fold down. You can see right here that there's a pin right here. There's one on each side. If you pull that pin, you can adjust the length of the legs. Okay. Alrighty, so here we go. Okay, so right when we come in the door, this is your 2-zone thermostat. So you're going to go through the mode and then the system. So system, you go through heating, cooling, fan, whatever, and mode is on and off, high, low, that sort of thing. And then the zone, of course, is here. Right now, this is zone 1, and zone 2 is in the front. All your light switches are on. This is the remote for your power roof vent here. Shut it now because it was open running. There you have it. All right. as we come up, I think I'll turn the air conditioner on here because you'll be here soon enough. So cool auto. So that's what we want. Zone 1 cool auto. Just at 60, so you're all set for this one zone. Let me look up here. So the reason it's a 50 amp system and there's a second zone, you can see right here. There's a wire pack back here for a sensor for your front air conditioner, and this is pre-wired for it to fit right here. It fits right in this housing here. So if you wanted to add another 13.5, you put it right in there. It's already pre-wired. Okay. Let me back out here. You'll be able to ask questions when you pick up your trailer, because I go over everything I can think of, but I miss some stuff sometimes. This is for your bedroom slide right here. That type of slide is different than the rest. That one is called a Schwintek. It has the 2 tracks, gear tracks on each side. It's just a different style. It's owned by Lippert now, but they still refer to it as a Schwintek. Batteries charged. Fresh water has some water in it. Black is empty. Gray is empty. Gray 2 empty. Gray 2 is the kitchen sink or gray tank. So it's actually called a galley tank sometime, but that would be tank number 2. Tank number 1 is for your shower and your sink. Okay, and the black tank obviously is for the toilet. Your water pump is on right now. You have tank heaters, so you can turn them on and it'll extend your camping season. You can stay out longer in the winter and go out earlier in the spring. Your water heater on electric. Remember I told you there's another switch outside, and then of course your gas switch right there. You got 3 slide outs here. So you get 3 slide outs in this room obviously, and then the 4th slide out is right there. This is your power awning. Make sure if you're not at the campground you roll it in, never leave it out unattended. Okay, so more lights, step light, and this thing right here, this is the Wi-Fi Ranger. Okay, so the Wi-Fi Ranger has 2 features. One of them you have to pay for a SIM card, and you would go through whoever you get your cellular service from, right? Most people don't use that feature. I'm not even going to tell you about that other than you can do that. I'll talk about the free range extender, Wi-Fi booster feature. So you turn it on there, give it about a minute to warm up. All right, so when you look on your devices, your family's devices, cell phones and tablets, what have you, you'll see 4LTE 3824. That's what the Wi-Fi Ranger is called. So you would make up a password and a username and password so you can log onto that automatically. So all the devices will automatically attach to it. Then in the browser on one of your devices, you go to this address right here at the bottom here, and that'll take you to the Wi-Fi Ranger itself, its web page. So you'll be able to see everything the Wi-Fi Ranger sees. In order to access it, there's a temporary password here, as you can see. Change me now, 3824. You can, obviously you're expected to change that to something you all know. So you log on there and you could, let's say, pick out the public campground Wi-Fi. Sometimes they'll give you a code for it, a 4-digit code, whatever. You can just type that in. So your Wi-Fi Ranger is always logged on to that. Or any public Wi-Fi you want to use. Okay, so it just gives you a better, stronger signal. It's got a built-in firewall, so it has some really good features. And once you get, like I said, once you get all your family's devices, the password put into it, it's really seamless. So instead of having to connect all your devices to the campground Wi-Fi, for example, all you have to do is connect the Wi-Fi Ranger, and all your devices will connect to the Wi-Fi Ranger automatically. Okay. Okay, hopefully that made sense. This is for your fan right there. Okay, let's go this way. Okay. Okay, so you have a microwave oven, which works like any microwave oven. I want to apologize first of all about my camera work and the fact I get so close. This is not meant to be a sales video or a floor plan video. This is just to show you how some of the appliances and features work. So this This is what I have to work with, okay? All right, so I don't know if he's got the gas on or not right now, but we'll find out. This is the sparker. You turn it clockwise. Okay, so this is a burner knob. We'll go to there. Yep, so he does have the gas turned on, you can see. So you got 3 burners, 3 knobs, and then you have the oven, and this is the oven knob here. So the oven has a pilot light all the way to the back on the bottom. Let me see if I can spark it so you can see it. Something you may or may not be able to see that, I'm not sure. But it goes like this. You're going to turn it on to the pilot light picture, the symbol. Then you depress it and keep it depressed during the whole lighting procedure. With your other hand, you're going to spark this by turning it clockwise until the pilot light down here lights. After it lights, you still hold it in for another 10 seconds or so to heat it up, and you go to operating temperature. When you shut it off, the flame goes out, obviously, but so does the pilot light. So you got to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. Okay. Your refrigerator is gas absorption, so this will work on 110 LP, and it'll also work on, excuse me, it'll work on 110 AC, regular household current, or it'll run on LP gas. Okay, that's better. So on and off is this way, right? So right now it's on auto. I could switch it to gas, but it's on auto. Auto is the way you generally want to be. They call it auto because it automatically seeks out electricity, and if it can't find it, or if it finds it, it uses it. If it can't find it, it'll switch to gas and light on gas. Another scenario is that you're gone for the day, and it's a hot day, and soon after you leave, the power at the campground goes out. Well, this would sense it and then automatically light it on gas so you don't spoil your food. So that's why auto is the way to go. You can also run it dedicated to gas, but if you don't have any electricity, then it'll end up with gas anyway. Okay. Now the other thing to know is this device right here. This is called a thermistor. That you see the wire on the end of the wire is like a cylinder, and it's inside this piece here, which is just a clip. You can pull it all apart. If it ever falls out, you just put it back in. You can see the decal on the side says the higher you go with it, the cooler it is. So you're basically going to want that up all the way, almost all the time. That's how you set your temperature. Now, if it starts to frost up, if you're getting into the late fall or something like that, you can always back it off, but generally you're going to have it up all the way. Okay? This is a collar to repair a dump hose. Okay, so that's the refrigerator. Here is your. I showed you the canister for a water filter. There's your filter right there. Like I said, it's a carbon block filter, and this is the wrench for it. It slides up over the canister, and then you just spin it off. This is a cheat sheet for your sound system and your TV. It's a good thing to have. I'll tell you some of the features, but that's a great thing to refer back to because it goes over the most common questions. Also, this is your packet with all your stuff in it. Everything in here has some literature with it, and that's where you'll search out information. You can also go to manufacturers' videos, like the manufacturer of each one of these appliances and a lot of these components all have online videos, so you can always get knowledge there also. Okay, so I think I'll go to the. I haven't went to the. Let's look up here. The power converter yet. So let's see if I can find it. Probably behind this door, I would bet. Sure enough. So this device down here is the power converter. This converts AC to DC power. Okay. So on this side, you have regular AC current, 110 AC. These are circuit breakers just like you'd have at home, and then of course written below it are all the names and what they do. So they're all labeled. Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC on this side. So you got 12 volt fuses, and next to it are labels so you can tell what they're for. If any of these fuses blow, they'll actually light up and you can see them through this tinted plastic here, right? But another main feature is as long as you're plugged in, this is a battery tender. So it'll sense how much energy your battery has or needs up front, and if it's low, it'll send 10 amps, for example. But if it's topped off, it'll just trickle a couple to keep it charged. So it's a smart battery tender. Okay. Alrighty. I told you about the air conditioner. Obviously, that's your escape window. This bed will pull up, and there's kind of like a foot locker underneath there. All right. Gotta pick up the pace here. Okay, sink works like any other sink. The shower is a little different. The shower has something called a water miser. The water miser is a recirculator. Okay, and it's right here. So when you're waiting for the water to heat up, normally the cold and then warm water will just go down the drain. This wastes water in some areas where they have drought issues, and also it wastes storage in your gray tank, because it's going to go into the gray tank. So if you put it in this position, it just sends the water around in a loop between here and the water heater, around and around and around, and that way you're not wasting any water or wasting any storage tank for your gray water. You're just heating up the same water that's looping around. Once it goes around, this will change. This one I think it turns a vivid blue, but you'll see it, whatever the color is, you'll see a dramatic change in it. Then you just, after you see that change, you know the water's hot, and you put it into regular position, and it works just like a shower. That's called a water miser. Like I said, if you want to, you can always look online on their website at their videos, but that's the general idea there. The thing is, like I said, the two main features is that, number one, you're not wasting water, and number two, you're not wasting space in your gray tank, which is limited, okay? All right, so this is the toilet. This one's porcelain, yes. Now, we don't have any, we do have some water in the tank, so it will work to some extent, but, well, let me just do it. The thing is, the black tank is directly below, right? That's the black tank down there. Now, if you're just getting to the campsite, you hook up your power and your water, you come inside, you dump 1 dose of toilet chemical in there, right? Then you're going to step on the pedal, this will start washing the chemical into the black tank, and also start putting water in there. You stand on this till you put about a gallon or so of water in the black tank. I'm not going to do that now, but you just use common sense to get some water in it, because you can't use it dry. Some people use more than a gallon. The thing is, you can't use it dry, so you want chemical and water in there when you're starting out with a dry black tank, okay? Otherwise the smell will be terrible, and you probably will never make this mistake twice anyway, so, okay. So this is your fan, and it has a remote also. Always run the fan, this is a 4-speed fan, always run the fan with the shower to pull the humidity out, because these things are built super tight. Okay, I think that covers everything here. Let me look around. Okay, let me just look here. There's also a, if I can find the darn thing, there's also a LP gas, carbon monoxide detector around here somewhere. Here it is right here. So this detects carbon monoxide buildup and LP gas leak. It's green. It should always be green, if not, get it serviced. But if it goes off, you take everybody outside, shut the gas off at the front, and figure out what's going on. Leave the door open. Okay, one other thing, this is your tire monitor, which will show you when you pick up. This will tell you the temperature of your hubs. This is a dual axle, so it'll tell all four, the temperature of all four individually, plus it'll tell you the temperature of all 4 tires individually, okay? And this piece here goes in your cab. It's like a little monitor. Okay? Alright then. Alright, I want to thank you for buying your trailer here at National RV Detroit. And please remember what I said about inspecting the roof every 90 days. That's very important, and most people do not inspect the roof enough, so make sure you get up there or have somebody else do it, and if you see an issue, you take care of it immediately, okay? Thank you.